All right, you guys, this is review number 3 to get you ready for your upcoming Integrated Math 2 test. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue here. So here we're going to write an equation of the circle in standard form and then identify the center and the length of the radius. Okay, so here's our center, you guys. Our center is HK and the radius is R, as long as we can get the x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equal to some number over here. Okay, so this number over here, if we square root it, will be our radius. So what we have to do to get this right here is to complete the square with the x's. So we'll group the x's together and group the y's together, and we'll throw this 39 over here on this side over here. Okay, so there we go. All right, now this is where we do half of this number. Half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we're going to add a 4 here. So to balance out this equation, we'll add a 4 over here. Half of 12 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. So we're going to add 36 and add 36. And when we do that, there's the 4, there's the 36. It creates a perfect square trinomial. So this side factors 2, and I'd say, Kellen, what sign goes in the middle? He would say a plus because of that plus right there. So this is going to be x plus 2 squared. So it's going to look like this. This is going to be y plus 6 squared, so it'll look like this. And then these guys added together, excuse me, gets us 1. So there's our equation of the circle. So the center is HK. Just think opposites, you guys. This is like x minus a minus 2 because it's x minus h and y minus k. And this is y minus a minus 6. So the center is at negative 2, negative 6, and the radius is the square root of 1, which is 1. Okay, so there's our center and our radius. Okay, let's do that again with this guy. Okay, let's group the x's together and the y's together and throw the 16 on the other side. All right, so now we do half of 8. Half of 8 is 4. 4 squared is 16. We're going to add a 16 and add a 16 over there. Half of 4 is 2, so we'll do plus 2 over there. Okay, so there we go. And then it gets us that equation right there. And so our center is at opposite, so 4, negative 2. And the radius is, whoo, I made a mistake. The radius is 2. Okay, it's the square root of that 4 right there. All right, anyway, so here we go. So this one here, let's group the x's together. Now before we can complete the square, you guys, this needs to be a 1x squared, not an 8x squared. Similarly, this needs to be a 1y squared, not an 8y squared. So I'm going to pull the 8 out here, which means I got to pull the 8 out of 16. 8 goes into 16 2 times. We'll pull the 8 out in front of here, so when we pull the 8 out of 32, that's going to change that to a 4 right there. And notice we put the 88 over there. Okay, so there's that right there. Okay, now we can complete the square as long as that's a 1x squared. So half of 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. So we're going to do plus 1 in there, but we're actually doing plus 8 times 1, or plus 8. So we'll add 8 on that side right there, okay? And then similarly, we're going to do half of 4 is 2. 2 squared is 4. So we'll do a plus 4 right here, but we're actually adding 8 times 4, so plus 32 over here, okay? And then that factors to that. And then remember, our equation is this right here. Okay, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. So we don't want those 8's in front. So we're going to divide by 8, and we got to divide that by 8. Everything divided by 8. So we're dividing both sides of the equation by 8. There's our equation of our circle. So the center is at 1, 2. The radius is the square root of 16, or 4. Okay, all right, so here, solve this system of equations by graphing. Okay, so this is a parabola right here, so it's going to be a U-shaped parabola. It's going up because it's a positive 2. It's going up 2 times 1 squared, 2 times 2 squared, 2 times 3 squared, okay? To me, it's easiest to put this in vertex form, so I'm going to add 5 over here. Okay, and then now I can see that the vertex of this parabola is going to be at 3, negative 5. Okay, so at 3, negative 5. There it is right there. Over 3, down 5. And then we go over 1. It goes up 2 times 1 squared because of this 2 out in front. Okay, so when we go over 1, it's going to go up 2. So put a point there and a point there. When I go back to the vertex, over 2, squared is 4, but then 2 times 4 is going to be 8. So we're just going to move those up. And I even got to float it up there at 16 just to guesstimate, okay? There's my groovy parabola. There should be arrows up there, but I ran out of room. Okay, and then y equals mx plus b is this line right here. So I'm going to go down to the -7 right here. So put a point right there. And then we'll go up 2 over 1. So if we're from here, go up 2 over 1. And I'm going to keep going. Up 2 over 1. There's 1 point right there. Up 2 over 1, up, and just keep going, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, okay? All right, so it sure looks like these guys are intersecting right there and right there, so this is an ordered pair. So this point looks like it's at 1, negative, no, I'm sorry, this point is at 2, negative 3. This point is at over 5, positive 3, so there's our intersection points right there, okay? Okay, let's do the same with this one here. Okay, here's another parabola right here. Okay, so this is like y minus 0 equals x minus 2 squared. So the vertex is at 2, 0. And then I just put this in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. So I just did plus 2x plus 2x. Okay, all right, let's go over 2, up 0. And this graph is going up because that's positive. So it's going up 1 squared, up 2 squared, up 3 squared as we go over 1 and 2 and 3 from that vertex. Okay, all right, and then this this line right here, we're going to go down to -4. Okay, put a point right there, and then up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So there it is. So there's my intersection points right there. Okay. All right, so here's another one here, you guys. So we're going to subtract the 4 and put it in slope-intercept form, and then, I'm sorry, subtract the 4 and put it in vertex form. There's other ways to do that, you guys. I just think it's easier since it's already set up almost in vertex form to do that. And then we'll graph that line right there. Okay, so there's that parabola. So to the left 2, up 4, and this one goes up a half of 1 squared, up a half of 2 squared, up a half of 3 squared as we go over 1, 2, 3 from the vertex. Okay, and then we'll go down to the -2, and then go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, because the slope is -1. Those guys don't intersect, so there is no solution on that guy. Okay, all right, so here we go. Let's solve this guy algebraically. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this right there. They're both equal to y, so I'm going to set the 2x plus 10 for the other y in the quadratic. And then we want quadratics to equal 0, so what we'll do is we'll subtract 2x from the 8x, and we'll subtract 10 from 10. So we're going to get x squared plus 6x equals, I did the 10s first, x squared plus 6x equals 0. Now we factor it. So we set it equal to 0 so we can factor it. Then we can set each of those factors equal to 0. So there's our x answers. Remember, these are ordered pairs. We got to find the y answers. Okay, so don't stop there. Real common is kids stop right there and they forget these are ordered pairs. So we got to plug in x equals 0. It's easiest to me to plug in 0 right there. 0 plus 10 is 10. And then 2 times -6 is going to be -12 plus 10. So those are our ordered pairs right there, okay? Let's see, did I get that right? I didn't, did I? -12 plus 10 is -2. Sorry. I was thinking of that when I was saying that. So this should be -2. So this should be -2. Does your math teacher make mistakes? I do all the time. My students will verify that, and they correct me every day. All right, so here, I think I'm going to take that bottom equation and solve it for y. So divide everything by 2 and then substitute that into the top equation. And we don't like those fractions, so let's multiply everything times 2 to get rid of the fractions. And what that does is it cleans it up to a nice quadratic. So subtract 7x, and subtract 7, sorry, and subtract 3. So we get x squared plus 3x equals 0. Then we can factor it, and so there's our x ordered pairs. And then plug in x equals 0, probably right here. So this would be 0, so this would be 7 halves. Plug in -3 right here, so we get -9 halves plus 7 halves is -2 halves. So anyway, so when we do that, we get those y values. So there's our ordered pairs right there. Okay. All right, what else do we have? Okay, let's do this guy. So I'm going to put in 2x plus 6 into the x squared plus 4x minus 2. Subtract 2x, subtract 6, and we get that. And factors of -8 that add to 2 are 4 times -2. Okay, so we can plug that in and then set those factors equal to 0 and get those x values, and then plug those back up into the y equals, the red one up there. So 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. And then 4 plus 6 is 10. So there's our ordered pairs right there. Okay, and then we have a couple of application problems. Okay, so we buy a car for $20,000. The car depreciates, which means it goes down at a rate of 5% a year. Now 5% is 0.05. Right, an exponential function in terms of t to represent this situation. Okay, so I did that right there, you guys. So our formula is A is our initial amount, so it's the $20,000. 1 means you start at 100%, and this is depreciating, so you take off 5% a year, so minus 0.05. Okay, so 1 minus 0.05 is 0.95. So here's our exponential function that represents that right there. After 7 years, how much will it be worth? So we're going to plug in 7 for t right there. So when I do that, do this part first. 0.95 to the 7th power gets us 0.69833373. Don't round it until the very end. And when you're talking about money, your final answer is going to be 2 decimal places. So $13,966.75. Okay, money is rounded to the second decimal place, but don't round it until the very end right there. And what's the domain? The domain is a t representation, which is time in years, you guys. So it started at 0 years and then to 7 years on this. Okay, so I guess it could go greater than or equal to 0 because it keeps depreciating after 7 years. But this question is talking about it over a 7-year time period. Okay, your range is money, so it started at $20,000. So after 7 years, it depreciated to $13,966.75. 75. Golly, lots of mistakes today. All right. Anyways, so here we go. Here's the next to last one here. So we buy a collectible comic book for $300, and the book's value increases. So it's the same function, except we're going to add 9%. So it's going to be 1 plus 0.09. Okay, and then so here's our exponential function right there, 300 times 1.09 to the t power after 21 years. So we're going to plug in 21 for t, and we get after 21 years, that $300 book is going to be a little bit more than 2,000 bucks. And then the domain and range is something like that. Okay. All right, one more, and then we'll stop, you guys. So you take out a 9-year. This should be number 11, I think. So let's double check, you guys. I gotta correct it for my kiddos. Yeah. Oh, they did have the 9 in there also. So anyways, this is number 11. Not number 9. That's a little typo right there. So anyways, we take out a loan to buy a house for $200,000, and the loan has an interest rate of 3%. So this is going to be 1 plus 0.03. Okay, so there's our function right there. After 30 years, so we're going to plug in 30 for t. So after 30 years, that house is going to be paid off of almost $500,000, $485,452.49. So almost that $200,000 house, that almost costs $500,000 when you're done paying for it. That's how the banks make money. All right, so your domain and range should be all of that right there, okay? All right, you guys, I hope you do well on your test, and good luck. Take care.